And we're live.
Nice.
Yay. We did it.
Happy March.
Yes, it's March.
I am like really excited for daylight savings this weekend because then it's going to be sunny in the evening.
Oh, sure. That doesn't make a lick of difference to me, but I mean, it's cool.
Well, as someone who like bikes to the gym after work, like biking home in the dark
In the
sucks all the
dark.
time,
Sure.
and it'll be so much warmer and just like more pleasant when the sun's up. So I'm very excited for that.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah. What's new with you, Paul?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Um I was going to ask you how
Okay.
Dune was part 2.
Doom Part 2. I thought it was great.
Really?
I
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't even seen part 1, but where I heard
Oh.
there weren't many. There were some dissenting opinions on the first part, but I haven't heard any negative about part 2. So,
Oh, okay. It's been a while since people talked about part 1. I like part 1 as well.
yeah.
You should absolutely go see it. We went and saw it in like the Dolby Cinema where like you get the nice seats and like the crazy sound system. So like the big booms and like the sandworms was like shaking the room.
If I remember correctly, I think the thing that miffed some people about part 1 was that they felt the pacing was really slow, and then when it started picking up, that was kind of around the end of that part. So I'm guessing those
Okay.
problems, quote unquote, are fixed because now a bunch of stuff is happening in part 2.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they're both long movies. There's a lot to set up. Like
Yeah, of course.
there's a lot going on in that universe and like as someone who watched the '80s one right before part 1 came out, I was happy that they were slowing things out and, like, explaining what the hell was going on,
The
because the
80s one
'80s one
sucks.
crams
It,
and they cram both of them like, all of the first book in that one. So
yeah,
they skip I haven't read the book, but they just skip so much stuff, so you're just kinda like, "I have no idea what's happening right now."
sure. I remember seeing the 80s one a long, long time ago and just thinking this blows. That like maybe admittedly also kept me away from the first part for a little bit where I'm like, I don't care about Dune.
So you're
But
gonna, like, double feature them soon here?
yeah, well, I'm gonna definitely watch the first part first because that makes sense
Yeah.
at home here. And then I know the girlfriend's gone next weekend to visit her parents, so maybe like in 2 weeks. So I might just watch it next week because I think she's
Okay.
seen it and I haven't.
Okay.
So I might just watch it while she's gone, and then we'll go to the theater the weekend after.
I did rewatch part 1 last week just to remind myself, and I highly recommend doing that because I had forgotten so many things about what was going on.
Right.
But yeah,
So
I
it
liked
was
I liked
worth it.
part 2 a lot.
It was worth
Oh
it
yeah.
going back to part one first for you, even.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't heard any. I guess I haven't really been looking for like people's opinions, but I haven't heard any dissenting opinions. I think people are pretty on board with part 2.
It's at 97 on Rotten Tomatoes, so there's not a lot of dissenting opinions.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's awesome. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I also saw Drive Away Dolls, which is extremely goofy and fun. So I recommend that movie as well for
Okay.
people looking for a movie out there. That's a cool one. But
Cool.
in other news, I just booked my next trip.
I saw I think a tweet or Instagram post or something about this. So
I think I did both.
you're going to the German area of Europe now.
Yeah,
Experiencing that.
and normally I don't do these big trips so back to back, but I think the fact that Italy was so ruined for me with the flu,
You almost didn't
it
have a
just
trip.
it didn't like scratch the itch for me, even though
Sure.
I got like a probably a solid 9-10 days of trip with like Spain and a little bit of Italy and Venice.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just like yeah, it didn't scratch the itch. And I found cheap flights again, so
Sure.
that's always kind of leading to that also dictates a lot of the places I go because I just see like where's cheap at the time I want to fly. So I'm flying in and out of Prague, Czech Republic,
Yep.
and normally I like to hit up a few places, fly in one place, fly out of the other place.
Right.
When I was looking at those, the price just jumped, so I have to go back to Prague for my
Oh,
exit. So I was like, okay,
interesting.
so I'm gonna make kind of a circle here. So the tentative plan, I haven't booked any hostels or anything yet, so this could change. But the idea right now is Czech Republic, Prague, spend a few days there, take a train, like 3-hour train ride to Nuremberg, Germany,
Okay.
a few days there, couple-hour train ride down to Munich, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
A few days there. Take a longer train, like a 6-hour train into Austria to go to Vienna.
Yep.
A few days there, couple-hour train back up to Prague.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Like the tickets were $530. That's an incredible steal.
Yeah, that's really cheap.
Yep. The one downside, and I'm getting what I paid for, is the flights are a little less than ideal.
Mm.
Specifically, I have layovers in London each way. Layover there is 8 hours long.
Oh man. Okay.
Luckily, I get in at like 10 a.m., so I'm just gonna go into London for like 4 hours and like get some food, look at something.
Get some fish and chips. Look at Big Ben.
Yeah. I mean, I've done that before, but like I'll do something. It's better than staying in the airport, right?
Yeah.
Especially because I'm not gonna be checking bags, so I'll just have my backpack.
Sure.
The one coming back though, I get back into London at 10 p.m.
Oh yeah.
Meaning I can't go. There's no point going into London, and it's a 12-hour layover.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I mean, what? I have no choice. There was no way around this. If I wanted, if I adjusted the flights at all, they went up like at least $300.
Yeah, $500 is like, I think we booked 2 people to go to Toronto this month for some training, and it was like literally the same price as what you're paying to go across the sea. So
yeah, from further west, like
yeah, no, that's a really good deal.
So I'm hoping maybe London, the airport will have like those sleep pods I've heard about, and I'll just like
that'd be
pay
kind
to
of
book
cool
a sleep
to experience.
Pod. That might be kind of cool. If it doesn't, I'm just finding a corner and sleeping on the floor. Like
yeah, I've done that nothing before. Else. It's not bad, honestly.
I think I would say it's bad, but it's not enough to break the trip.
Nah, it's not bad because you're not outside, right? Like you're still indoors in a semi-safe area, like because of security and stuff. It's doable at least. It's not great, but like
no, it's definitely not great.
It could be.
It's not even good, but it's like whatever. I'm gonna try and have a fun time on my trip, and I got a real cheap ticket, so I get what I paid for.
Just don't get sick again.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Just don't get
I'll
sick.
do what I can, but yeah. So I'm excited for that. That's in May. That's mid-May, like a 2-week trip. So if people have recommendations for any of those 4 cities, shoot them my way, please, because I'm putting my itinerary together.
I don't think I know anybody online that lives in like German areas, but
maybe they've like visited it or something. You know what I mean?
Or we might have a listener that doesn't like reach out very often. This is your opportunity to break the ice. Send in an email and talk.
Tell me what I should go look at and stuff. Yeah,
we won't even read it online if on the air if you're like just wanting to be anonymous and stuff. It's fine.
Sure, I guess. Yeah. Okay. All right. With that out of the way, let's talk about the real important stuff, which is video games, because this is the top-down perspective for March 7th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
And actually, real quick, are you in the Shogun fever that everyone seems to be in?
Am I in the Shogun fever? So no. Like, you're talking about the series, but in general, that era, no, also, even though I like Ghost of Tsushima quite a bit.
Okay, I'm talking about the series. I've been wanting to watch it so much. Everyone is saying it's incredible. I just haven't had like first episode's like an hour and 10 minutes long. I just haven't had that amount of time yet this week. So depending on how late this show goes, I may or not start it afterwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So, okay. Paul, what have you been playing?
Just Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Just been playing.
Okay, so you can find. Have you played enough that you can finally actually talk about it?
I don't know. I'm almost 20 hours in, so yeah, I guess.
Okay, cool. So, where does that put you?
Chapter 7. I just got Yuffie.
Yeah. Okay, you're catching up to me pretty quick. I think I'm 26.
I have been given a heads up, like, that I'm soon going to be going to another one of those, like, giant things with a bunch of side stuff, so I'm probably going to slow down again.
So you just got Yuffie, you said?
Literally, I stopped playing after the, like, Yuffie has joined your party thing.
Okay. Yeah. So you did all of Junon already. So last time we talked, you hadn't even done any of the open world. Now you've done 2 open world sections.
Last time we talked, I had just done what was the demo, the Nibelheim.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You hadn't even done Calm.
No, not even
So
Calm.
so I want to get your thoughts. Let's kind of go through it. How good is Queen's Blood, right?
It's okay. So like maybe at the risk of being crucified, I kind of hate the mini games in this. Like not all of them, but most of them. I think they're a
You're
waste of
playing the
time.
wrong game, man. This
They're
is mini games, the game.
Yeah, they're mostly a waste of time. They're just taking up way too much time. And the problem I really have is that the highest rank usually gives you like a good piece of equipment, or at least a piece of equipment I think I want to have. I don't know until I get it because I'm not looking that
I've
stuff up.
found for the most part, it's like an accessory that I'm probably, or it's a piece of armor that I
Mm.
already have a better thing than,
Can
because
you
I'm
can
I'm
you
I
see on that screen how good the stats and stuff are for that? I haven't actually looked.
like the reward screen when you're starting a mini game.
So the thing that's bringing this up in my mind is that there's this fucking terrible like Red 13 soccer mini game, and it gives you a collar. And I was like, oh, that might be sick. I guess I have to do
Oh
this
well,
garbage thing I hate.
well that one is a weapon, right?
Yeah,
His weapon is a collar. Okay, yeah. So that's like the only one I can think of where it was like,
worth
oh, get
getting.
that because you want the weapon. I mean,
If it's a talisman,
worst
like I
comes
don't
to
really give a fuck, but I'm probably going to do it anyways because I'm here at that point.
yeah, I mean, with the weapons, worst comes to worst, if you don't find them in the wild, the vendor will sell them eventually.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I haven't bought any weapons because because I keep finding them. They're not hidden very difficult. That one, I found that one actually pretty easy to get. Um, there are some mini games where it's like there's no. I think I've rarely gotten like the top score in
Mm.
any of the mini games because yeah, it's like, would you want this like armors thing? It's like no, I already have the enhanced version because I item transmutating
The
everything,
crafting
and
system. Yeah.
yeah,
That
like I already
crafting
have
system is
like
weirdly like intense for like I thought, okay, cute. I'm gonna be able to make my own potions. It's like, oh no, I get to make enhanced armor. What the fuck is going on? It's kind of interesting. I thought it was maybe just a way to like give you more options for Phoenix Downs or something.
this is like menu systems. The game. There are so many systems
Yeah,
in
there
this
are.
game. It's kind of crazy. And then there's a whole bunch that I just like didn't even know about because I'm barely using. Like
Like which one?
they tell you them once, and it's like I just like synergy skills. I like rarely use, but I'm unlocking a bunch of them. Synergy abilities I'm using, but I also
Yeah.
forgot how to like activate them. Like I don't. Do you know how to make it so I can use one? Because they just sometimes it's like, oh, it's an option. Cool, I'm gonna use that one.
Yeah, you have to build them up, but I don't remember. Like I've
Right?
I honestly haven't really been paying attention to that because I'm playing this kind of like how I played Remake, which is probably a mistake where that didn't exist. So I should
Okay. Yeah.
probably be looking more into that stuff, but I haven't felt the need to use them. They're just kind of awesome when they work out.
Yeah. And I mentioned this last week. If on the normal difficulty, it is not a hard game, and you do have the option in the options to set it to dynamic difficulty if you want it to
Yeah, to
like
scale with how
change on the
good you're
fly.
doing.
I haven't wanted to do that. Um, but I could imagine that would be of interest to some people. So I'm sure that you can get like pretty deep into the combat and stuff, like because every character plays differently. I actually think Yuffie is extremely fun.
Yuffie's
Um,
great. I haven't played as her in this yet, but I loved her in Intermission so much that I've been like itching to play as her again.
yeah, she's very fun. I was rolling Cloud, Tifa, Aerith pretty exclusively,
Mm-hmm.
and then I switched out Tifa for Yuffie because it was just like, oh, if there's like a flying enemy or whatever, instead of me
Yeah.
constantly like doing the dodge attack, I'm
Yep.
just gonna switch to Yuffie and use the awesome like ninjutsu, elemental ninjutsu stuff, and she builds ATB so fast.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty enjoyable. But all the characters are so different. Red 13, like it's parry and block focused. Like the characters are crazy different. So they're deep. It's deep if you want to get into it for sure.
Red 13 is probably my least favorite just in general. I like Barret quite a bit just for getting stagger really quickly
Sure.
on big
Yeah.
enemies with bonus round and then just going like crazy with Cloud after that. So,
Yep.
like, yeah, it's nice that every character plays so differently so you can choose who you want in your party, and conceivably every different person could kind of have their different strat that they want to utilize to get through some of those encounters, which I find very, very cool. Because I don't use Tifa in battle very much, except like when they kind of foist her upon you for some parts. Not that like I don't necessarily like Tifa's moveset or whatever. I just prefer having Aerith and Barret. Aerith is, if I'm going to be kind of honest, Aerith is kind of just like my auto heal bot that I switch to every now and then to do a bunch of spell damage for things that are resistant to physical. But otherwise, I'm almost always go to Barret, cast bonus round, get stagger up, and then just go crazy with every ability Cloud has to do a shit ton of damage, and that's basically it.
Okay, we gotta put a pin in this because breaking news:
Okay.
Kira Toriyama was just announced that he has died.
What?
The creator of Dragon Ball.
Oh, was he sick?
I'm looking at the tweet here from Dragon Ball Official. We are deeply saddened to inform you that manga creator Akira Toriyama passed away on March 1st due to acute subdermal hematoma. He was in age of 68.
68.
That's young, man.
Yeah. Huh.
He left many manga titles and works of art to the world over the last 45 years. Damn. So a week ago.
Wow.
What a bummer.
Weird.
Holy smokes.
Weird.
I would not be where I am today without Dragon Ball Z. That is just core to my being, is growing up watching Dragon Ball Z. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah,
anyways, to go back, the impossible transition to go back to talking about video games. One of the new things with Rebirth is using like the sphere grid, whatever the SP system is.
Mm-hmm.
You can unlock an elemental attack for everyone.
For every element without using MP.
Yeah. So but it's a lot weaker. So like if you're trying to build up the stagger.
But it is a thing you can use. Yeah.
Especially if you run out of MP, because that's pretty easy to do. Even Aerith's like MP absorbing attack doesn't absorb that much MP, I find. Like it's rare to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. I actually like that they give you, I kind of like that weird like ability upgrade system, the passive skills or the skills upgrade, that the the party level up thing that you go to the book and then kind of get whatever you want for the.
It is kind of a bummer that you can only look at it when you're at the folio shop.
Yeah.
It would be nice if you could just look at it whenever. One thing I would personally love is, so the way, you have your party of 3, and I kind of have like materia selected for each one of them.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be kind of my healing one. You're going to be kind of the elemental one, but you're also the one that's going to have assess and prayer, and then yada, yada, yada. But they will force you to switch into different combinations based on story related stuff. And then it's like, okay, crap. So now now Barrett's in my team, but I don't have any materia on him. Yeah. So I need to go in. Who did he replace? Okay, he's going to be my replacement for Tifa. So I'm going to give him everything that Tifa has. I wish I could just like almost have like, okay, can you just take Tifa's build and put it on Barret, as opposed to me having to one at a time? Like, okay, here's the one that I'm going to find everyone with Tifa's face on it and put it into Barret. And now, okay, they made me do Red 13 instead of Aerith. Okay, Red 13, you're going to be Aerith for the next hour. I'm going to go in, and everyone with Aerith's face, I got to switch on to Red 13.
Interesting.
But so that's unfortunate. I will say one thing you can do, and I don't know if you knew this, when you're in the like materia equipment menu, if you press the touchpad, it will show you everyone, and then you can swap between them easily.
Oh, that is awesome. I didn't know that.
You didn't. And I learned this. Shout out to old coworker Jean-Luc over at GameSpot. They have a video of like things I wish I knew before playing Final Fantasy Rebirth. Highly recommend it. Here's something you may not have also known. Did you know the chocobos can drift?
Drift
when you're turning?
No, I guess I haven't tried doing any of that stuff. Okay, sure.
Yeah, you should watch this video. There's a lot of like interesting stuff. The first one, and I can't agree more, is they're like turn down the music volume, because for whatever reason the music just gets crazy loud, especially
over the
dialogue.
voicing. It's crazy. Yeah. Oh,
weird.
I just did that. Like, that has been bugging me for 18 or so hours. I just did it my last session, I guess yesterday. I was like, you know what, this is too much. I gotta turn this down.
Yep. So yeah, shout out again, GameSpot's things I wish I knew before playing Rebirth video. It's like a 9-minute long video. Highly recommend it. I learned a few different things from there for sure that I'm definitely going to use going forward. Um, Kind of going back to my initial question, I love Queen's Blood. It's like the first thing I do when I get to a new town is I play all the Queen's Blood people, especially because it seems like all the Queen's Blood players are the actual craziest
They're
NPCs in the game.
crazy. Holy shit, they're so fucking whacked. Yeah.
You're about to you're about to go on a cruise
No, I did it.
and do a
I've done it.
Oh, you did the cruise?
The cruise to Costa del Sol.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Insane, right?
So when the Red 13 part happens, I'm like, this has to be what Sean was talking about. And the thing that happens with Red 13 is hilarious. But the real funny thing is that a child just starts crying and I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, that is
I think I missed that one.
that's such good comedic timing. This is
This game
janky
is
ass thing. Yeah.
much like Helldivers 2. This game is taking itself very seriously, but it's throwing just like the craziest, weirdest shit at you.
Yeah.
But it's doing it with a straight face, which is very funny.
Yeah.
Especially because like Cloud is like playing the straight man a lot of the time.
Yep.
So he'll just be like, what are you doing? Like this, what? Are you serious right now? And it's like, and everyone else is like, yo, this is like pretty crazy, man. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
So that's very funny.
Like the latest thing was Yuffie is like kind of bombastic and crazy because she's like younger and very hyperactive. So she does her whole spiel, and Cloud's just like cool and just starts like walking past her.
Yeah,
it's just like
just like that. No, thank you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No, it's very good. This game is like surprisingly funny, and I'm liking that. And it is mini games. The game,
So many.
There's so many of them. So okay, so what did you think of the open world and all the stuff you had to do?
I think they were smart about not just showing you the whole checklist of stuff that you have to do right away. They kind of give you a few points. You go to one and then you do the thing, and then that'll unlock like another part to that open world thing or whatever that you get somewhere else. Or you go to a tower and you unlock like 2 or 3 things nearby, and they will unlock like another part of it or whatever. So I think it's smart in that it doesn't overwhelm you and kind of keeps your focus like, okay, well, I'm just going to go do this. And then it just kind of like breadcrumb trails you to the next thing. Nice. I kind of don't care about open world stuff though. Like in games in general, I'm kind of done with that stuff. So the fact that it's in here is more of a chore than I think it is anything great.
Do you see yourself skipping and kind of just going to the story?
No, I'll probably poke around here and there as I see fit, because I don't think you can. I think you can go back and do open world stuff that you left later. So if I'm in the mood for like just more story stuff, I'll probably just push in story for a bit and then go back when I'm able to and do some more stuff. So at least it's open enough that I can choose to do that.
I've been doing like everything side, then do the story. The third open world section is odd because you can't access like half the map, and you like have to do some story stuff, and you even have to do like a you won't be coming back here for a while part before you can like get to the other half of the map, which is just different from the last two because it was you could do everything first. Like I keep thinking like, did I miss like a pathway over to that section? But I couldn't find one.
Right.
So we'll see once it kind of ends up. I don't think I mentioned I'm at the gold saucer right now.
Do you know what chapter? Like just as an idea.
I'm in chapter 8. I might be nearing the end of chapter 8. It's kind of hard to tell because like I'm at a pretty significant story thing. But I have a feeling all of Gold Saucer is probably going to be chapter 8. The intro to Gold Saucer is ridiculous.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So look forward to that cutscene. And yeah, I don't know. I'm loving the music. I really am enjoying this game quite a bit. It seems like this game is close to 90 to 100 hours if you're doing everything. So I have a ways to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder one thing I keep forgetting is I keep forgetting to go back to Chadley all the time.
Oh, I was just about to ask you, where do you fall on the hate love war of Chadley, because
Oh,
for the most part, it seems like everyone fucking hates this guy.
I fucking hate that guy, and mainly because every time I do anything, he has to chime in. If he would just shut his fucking mouth until like important stuff happens, I'd be less angered by it. But every
And it
time
comes
you
out of
do
the controller,
huh?
and he comes out of the controller.
No, I have it piped in through I guess my headphones or whatever, because
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
But yeah,
By default, he comes out of the controller speaker, so it's just kind of a little extra like, hey,
oh
I'm annoying.
yeah, no, I fucking hate that guy. Which is funny because I didn't hate him in the other one because he just kind of existed in that world as a weird little anomaly. But now he's in my face. I feel like
There's a lot more Chadley because there's a lot more to do.
yeah,
Because he has to say something about like every point on the map, and now there's a second Chadley. There's the girl one, and so
Maya
they're
or
just like
something.
bickering. I don't
Maya.
even remember.
Yeah, I
Like
can't remember.
I don't really listen to them. I don't
Yeah,
like this kid.
yeah.
I don't do much stuff with Chadley. I'll buy some of his materia because it's unique and pretty useful. Other than that, I haven't been doing like the fights
I keep
unless it's
forgetting
a
about all of them.
they I did a couple because the reward was like lightning and fire materia. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that's pretty cool. And then I got no, it was fire and ice and then lightning and wind, I think. I don't know, there's two to get you all four. So I got those ones, but it's like, do you want to do 5 battles in a row? And no, like
mm,
never. So I just don't want to do those fights. I've done the summon ones. So like I'll do them if there's like a good reward. But other than that, it's like, no, I'm pretty good. Like I'm not having trouble with the materia I got.
sure.
Thanks anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't even done the summon ones because I barely use the
Oh.
summons I have, which is like Leviathan, Rama, Ifrit, and Chocobo and Moogle, which is already like intensely good summons. So
I don't have Leviathan and ramen. I'm supposed to because I have a save, but for some reason that like didn't
so
transfer.
no, so this is I had to find out how to do this too. You have to go into the
Okay.
menu and claim them from the like downloadable
The
thing under settings
the
or
main
something.
menu, right?
No, you can do it through like the pause menu. You go to system and
Oh,
then like
okay.
content or something, and then you have to actually
Okay.
like click on them to claim them. Because I didn't have them
Maybe that's
either.
why I didn't. Okay.
Yeah,
And you're supposed to get like a medal or a keychain for like playing the demo. I don't have any of that. Is that even useful?
I
I
have
don't know
no
what it does.
idea. I didn't play the
Oh,
demo.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to do that. But no, I've been doing the summon ones, so I have Titan and
Phoenix probably.
Phoenix,
Yeah.
and I'm working on trying to get Alexander is the third one.
Okay.
Those fights are hard. Um, the Titan one specifically, like I could not do it the minute I like lowered his level. I had to like wait a bit. The Phoenix one I was able to beat on the first try, but I think just because I had a good counter to it with using ice, whereas
Oh,
Titan didn't have a direct elemental counter, so I had to just kind of brute force that
I
one.
was gonna ask, is there any reason to not do it, or is there any reason to not do it on the lowest thing? Because I've been doing it on the highest difficulty, and I just don't do damage to Titan. My problem is I can last for a while, but I just can't kill him because he has too much health.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Is like I don't know if you're a masochist and you want to like show how big of a boy you are. That's the only reason I would think
No,
you wouldn't want to lower it down.
I was wondering if it like actually unlocks something, like if there was a reason to. I have no idea. I
I don't
haven't
know.
looked
Not that I've
anything
heard,
up
but
at all. Like,
I have. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there wasn't a lot. There wasn't at the time. There wasn't much for me to look up because I was doing it pre-release. So all the guides hadn't come out yet, and then since then it's not hard. I don't need a stronger Titan, so I've just been fine as is.
I think and I think the thing just in general why I keep forgetting is I don't like need Titan or Phoenix. I'm already full on like the summons I use, but I should do them just to do them.
I'm surprised you're not like doing every single little thing, considering you just came off of Final Fantasy 16, where
Yeah,
you were doing every single little thing, even though it was highly recommended not to.
it wasn't highly
Because it is,
recommended. It was just recommended by you.
I highly recommended
Yeah,
not
you
doing the
highly
bad
recommended.
side quests, and we're because it wasn't worth it. Whereas now I feel like doing the side stuff is worth it. You get a cool summon.
Yeah,
So
you at least no. I should be doing the summons. It's just I keep forgetting to go to Chadley. I just keep forgetting to. Anytime I'm
he's
in
everywhere. He
the
just pops up there. And he's there again.
I know. I just don't want to talk to him. I don't
What are
want
you
to.
What are you doing on this cruise ship? Like, how did you even get here? What's going on here?
Yeah. As far as like the side mini games and card games and stuff, Queen's Blood is fine. It's
Love it.
it's more interesting now with like sacrifice decks and minions and stuff that isn't just like taking space over and then making the number go up. You having some actual strategies. Now I'm getting more into it ever since the cruise. Before that, I was just like, this is boring garbage. Like I'm just trying to make the number go up and then that's it. But on the cruise, it was awesome. In Costa del Sol, they have the like puzzles or whatever, the puzzle versions, which I thought were kind of neat as well. Like there's cool things that they're doing with it now that they weren't for a while.
I will say Costa del Sol, getting those like segways, those things handled like shit.
They sucked. And you have to drive one for like 4,000 meters or whatever. And you're like,
yeah.
damn.
And I did that. And I knew like my reward was like something I don't want, but I just like needed to do it.
I drove back and forth down that main strip like 10 times or something.
Oh, I just kind of used it every time for the side stuff, but as soon as I got that reward, I was like, I'm never stepping on one of these things again.
Yep. No, they suck. They're pretty bad. The piano mini game was kind of awesome, though. I like that.
It's okay. Yeah.
That was neat.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll check back in next week as we've probably put another 12+ hours into the game.
Yeah, for sure.
The only other thing I'll bring up is just today I started playing some Mortal Kombat 1 because it was on Xbox's like free days, like free weekend. Here's some games that are free this weekend, and I was like, oh shit, it's free for 4 days. I can get through Mortal Kombat 1 in 4 days. That'll be easy. The free version, they lock the story after chapter 2.
Oh, then I'm not going to install it then. I don't care. That's what I want.
Which with every time I've used these free versions, it's always just been the full game.
Yeah.
Play to your heart's content. You have 4 days. There's no way you'll finish it in 4 days, and maybe you'll fall in love and buy it. This is the first time I've encountered them being like, oh, here's a piece of the game that's free.
That's crazy.
I was just like, well, all right, huh? So also, at least the Xbox version, 170 gigs.
I heard about this. So
I downloaded it, played an hour of it, maybe, and then it was like, all right, thanks for playing. Go buy the game. And I was like, well, I guess I'm getting 170 gigs back.
Yeah, I saw that it was 170 gigs, and I was like, that's kind of steep, but like at least I'll be able to do that story mode, probably because I heard that story mode is like 4 hours long max or something. Like,
how long to beat has it at 6.5?
6? Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. I thought like one good session, I'll finish the story mode, enjoy that thing, and be like, cool, then uninstall it. Now you saying that they stop you, like, I'm not even gonna bother. What a waste.
Yeah, I was like, well, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. That's pretty funny though. They know the thing that people want.
They probably like, oh crap, our story mode's only 6 hours long. We can't. We gotta. Yeah, I mean, what like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm complaining.
Yeah, no, you didn't spend anything,
like, but it was.
Yeah,
it was still just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some news. Got a few things here. This first one was just kind of like a little bit of interesting to me. Alan Wake 2 got an update this week where they lowered the PC requirements by an entire generation of graphics card. Yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting.
I was reading that. That's very cool.
So the minimum requirements used to be a GeForce 2060. Now they support GeForce 1070, which is cool. I mean, I don't know how often this happens. I don't follow PC system requirements too much, but I think I was hearing this is kind of a rarity. So good for them.
Yeah. No, that's pretty crazy. That's awesome.
Here's another just kind of weird thing that happened this week. Balatro, which I've been playing. I should have talked about that. I finally beat Balatro.
Okay.
Finally beat a run with it. For those curious, green deck is what I was able to beat it with. Oh, that game's so good. Like, holy shit, it's so good. Anyway, Balatro got pulled from stores this week. It's back up, but it got pulled from stores just suddenly because I guess someone deemed it to be advertising gambling. So its 3+ rating had to immediately change to an 18+ rating, which took it off of digital storefronts.
Interesting. Okay.
I think it was always on Steam because they allow 18+ games.
Yeah.
But like the console storefronts don't allow 18+ games. So it went down. I think it is back. Because they were able to prove it's not promoting gambling. From what I understand, the developer of this game doesn't even like poker.
That's kind of interesting.
which is which is interesting. Yeah. So
Hmm.
good. I don't know if I believe that, but anyway, um, this something similar happened to this last year with I forget the name of it, but it was on the Switch and PC. It was like teddy bears or like cute animals playing poker on a ship. Does this ring any bells to you?
No, it doesn't at all.
No. Okay.
But it's
This
same
this also
problem.
came up well because that was like an actual poker game, and they were like, "Oh,
Oh,
you're doing gambling, even though there's no actual like money changing hands because it's all just in game stuff."
right.
So they were also dealing with this like high rating, even though it's like these are just cute animals playing poker on a boat. Like this is not an 18 plus game. There's nothing 18 plus about this. So yeah, gambling puts it up there. Anyways, I did a check beforehand. It's you can buy it again, Balatro again, so that's good for them. And you should. That game is incredible.
Cool.
Cool Helldivers update. This was announced today. A couple days previous, Helldivers announced that mechs were coming. People
Yep.
were gonna the Helldivers were gonna be able to pilot mechs in the fight for Super Earth, and announced. Then they put a pause. The mechs are not going to unlock unless the current planet of Tien Quan gets liberated.
Right.
Meaning, we have to get in there and we have to get the planet liberated so we can unlock mechs for everyone in the world to support Super Earth.
Right. No, that's
And this is
awesome.
just super fun.
I really love that they have a dude hired to like basically roll dice and see like what next situational thing they want to implement. That's very cool.
Yeah. I think that came out like over the weekend. It was announced like who's deciding like what is changing these numbers and stuff, and they basically have like one developer.
They have a game
I
master.
think they have a game master. It's a dude named Joel,
Yep.
and he just decides when the planets are like fucked up or not.
Yep. That's awesome.
And what makes it like interesting is because we're more used to if you think of like Left 4 Dead when that went what kind of popularized like the AI um like dungeon master and stuff
Yeah.
of kind of dynamically spawning enemies and stuff, and they were like, no, we just have Joel.
Yep.
And I think the quote, I don't have the quote directly in front of me when I read it. It was like we went this route because we didn't want this live service game to just be a calendar of events
Yeah.
tied around like actual holidays.
Yeah.
Which that's what a lot of live service games does. Here's your Christmas event, here's your Halloween event, here's your Valentine's Day event. Helldivers 2 just has Joel.
Yeah. No, it makes
So
sense because all he would have to do is come up with like 100 different scenarios and then see how they like can affect different stuff depending on what happens.
or just
Because
put like a multiplier, like, I don't know, extra bugs today. Have fun.
they could do that, yeah, and then people would eat it up. But instead, they have somebody being like, "No, this is what like you get mechs, but you're going to have to liberate this planet to get them." Like that's awesome. That's just very good.
Yeah, so for people who aren't playing Helldivers, there's kind of like a meta layer where it's like when actual humans complete missions, a very like, 100,000th of a percentage of that planet ticks
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Whereas if you lose, I guess it goes down. I don't think I've actually lost one. Um, so it's like they need people to successfully be playing this specific planet over and over again so that it's liberated and Super Earth gets a win. And so right now we need to liberate Tian Quan so that we can all get access to mechs.
yeah,
I kind of hope it doesn't get liberated so
yeah.
that when the mech option comes around again, because it's not like they're just going to be like, we're scrapping this. Here's round two. Everyone's going to try extra hard. I think that would be more interesting. As much as I would love to play the mechs, I'm kind of more interested in the meta story.
I kind of am too. I I hate that this came out with Final Fantasy VII here though, because it's like if I'm gonna be playing a game, I kind of want to be continuing that. That has such a hold on me. I don't really want to
Yep.
go to
And
Helldivers.
there's a lot. Yep.
Yeah,
PlayStation fans are feasting right now.
yeah.
Okay, this next one, just a PSA. EA put a bunch of quote unquote classic EA games on Steam today.
Okay.
I got the list right here. Command & Conquer: The Ultimate Collection, SimCity 3000 Unlimited,
Mm.
Populous, Populous 2, Populous the Beginning, Dungeon Keeper Gold, Dungeon Keeper 2, Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri Planetary Pack, and the Saboteur.
Oh, the Saboteur. Oh man. And Dungeon Keeper games. Okay. I'm hoping this kills their crappy ass launcher, like fully. Just release everything
Or
on
is it
Steam.
Origin? Is that what it's still called?
Origin, I think. EA Play? Is that no, or is that Ubisoft? I can't remember. One of them's Play.
Ubisoft. Play. I don't even know, man.
Yeah. I think Origin's correct. Maybe.
Or I think it's Origin. I haven't used it in so long, so I don't even know.
Yeah.
All right. Epic Games in their continued fight with Apple. Over in the EU, Apple has to allow third-party storefronts now on their phones, specifically for the iPhone, obviously. Apple was planning to do just that so that they could implement Fortnite and get their V-Bucks more directly. Apple's response was to just terminate Epic Games' developer account, which I guess they have the right to do that.
That's so fucked.
The quote is, so Epic is calling it a serious violation of the EU's Digital Markets Act, and we're kind of just waiting to see what the European Union does, because there's no way they're going to be cool with that. And I'm sure this is going to lead to another battle for their lawyers.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, good reminder in the chat. EA Play is the subscription service.
Gotcha. Right. Okay.
Right. So, anyways, yeah, $2 billion companies continue to fight. I guess we'll see what happens.
Oh, that's funny.
Rooster Teeth has been shut down by Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah, so I was under the impression they had already a couple years ago when a bunch of allegations against the creators of Rooster Teeth and them being pedophiles or something came out, but apparently they just got rid of those people and still had a company going, and we're doing kind of well. It's like a bunch of people were sad about this, but I didn't even know they still existed, frankly.
Ceasing operations after 21 years. I guess they're going to continue doing the podcast, which
okay.
What's it called? It's called the Roost Podcast.
Okay.
We had a question sent in about this. Now I'll just read it now. This comes from King Joey.
Oh.
With the news of their demise, do you have any fond memories of Rooster Teeth or their sub brands? I don't think I ever paid attention to Rooster Teeth.
I don't give a fuck about Rooster Teeth. I never have.
That was Red versus Blue, right?
I didn't give a fuck about Red versus Blue, but yes.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends that were really into it, but I just never watched it, and so that was the only one I was even familiar with.
Sure.
These other ones, I just don't even know what they are. Genlock, RWBY.
I have heard of RWBY. I just never watched it.
Okay. Someone's actually mentioning RWBY. I guess it's a VTuber. I don't think I've ever watched a VTuber. So
no,
that's just
RWBY was a series, like an anime series, animated series.
Oh, okay.
Originally.
Well, this person in the chat's wrong. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, they had probably a VTuber based on those characters, I'm guessing.
Someone from the series?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm not sad, but
yeah, I don't care.
That's a long running thing that's closed, which is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, does it say why? I'm guessing just not profitable, just business. I'm assuming.
Here's the quote. It's with a heavy heart I announced that Rooster Teeth is shutting down. This is from Rooster Teeth general manager Jordan Levin. Is shutting down due to challenges facing digital media resulting from fundamental shifts in consumer behavior and monetization across platforms, advertising, and patronage. So pretty much the same reason that everyone in media is getting laid off.
Yeah, there's no interest for investors or money anymore. It's drying up. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I just didn't know if there was more weird allegations or weird behind the scenes stuff, but it seems just business.
The Roost Podcast Network will remain in operation while WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, evaluates outside interest in acquiring this growing asset. So they're also trying to sell it off, I guess.
Oh, okay. Interesting. From the chat here, RWBY was the show. Ruby is the main character / VTuber, and they weren't profitable for 10 years, it seems. So, okay. Good context to know.
Pour one out for Rooster Teeth, I guess.
Sure.
All right, this last news story. There was an Xbox partner preview live stream Did you watch this by any chance?
I did.
Okay, so we have an article here with just kind of the things that were shown. Why don't you lay out something that piqued your interest?
The Sinking City 2? What the fuck, man? With all the problems that first one had with like rights managements and stuff and being pulled off the store and all that. What? How is there a second?
Good for them.
That's crazy. That was
Life finds
absolutely
a
crazy.
way.
Life finds a way. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll go next. The first Berserker looks awesome.
Kazan or whatever. It does look awesome. Yeah.
First Berserker Kazan. That one had absolutely like no release window, so it could be 2025 for all we know. But
Yeah.
it looks so good. I'm assuming it's like a Souls-like, just based on
Yeah,
like the
probably.
character movement and whatnot. But the art style looked awesome. That game looks very cool.
It does. Yeah. That game looks very awesome. Frostpunk 2 coming out in July is awesome. Frostpunk is one of the best types of like those strategy games I've ever played, and that second one looks so good. I can't wait.
Capcom's I'm gonna bat
Kunitsugami.
Kinitsugami.
Mhm.
That game still looks incredible. I want to play that.
It looks interesting. I'm wondering if the gameplay loop will do anything for me, but like it's beautiful looking. The art style is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool that the Stalker trilogy is coming out on something other than PC, so people can actually experience that weird thing. So that's kind of neat.
I think isn't that out like now? Like you can already.
Yeah, as of yesterday.
As of yesterday, yeah. All right, what else jumped out at me? I thought Creatures of Ava looked cool. I'm assuming it's going to be like a farming simulator, so I'm actually not going to play that much, but I just think it looked nice.
That's the one that had like Rihanna Pratchett writing for it though, right? So like it probably has a story.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
That's Terry Pratchett's daughter.
I don't know who that is.
Terry Pratchett was the creator of, oh my god, what the hell is that series? It's a I'm trying to look it up here.
Good Omens? That was with Neil Gaiman.
Discworld. The Discworld novels.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what Discworld is.
Okay.
But
they're fantasy novels. They're huge for a group of people that likes that sort of thing. But
okay, well.
Her though, Rihanna Pratchett has written for some other games as well, including Mirror's Edge, Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider games like Rise of and the other one, etc. That the altars, man. Moon, but like basically like every version of you has like kind of a past to change the story or something. That thing looks really cool.
That one looks interesting. Yeah, I thought that one looked cool. I thought the one right before it, Sleight of Hand, also looked good. It's the developer behind Framed, which is like a cool mobile game. And this looks like some kind of like card game. So I'm assuming it's going to be interesting. Like that seems cool to me. There was no gameplay for Sleight of Hand, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what you're doing.
I love that like we're talking about everything except the one that everybody was probably excited about, which is Persona's like expansion crap.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Persona guy. So, but yes, Persona 3's expansion pass was kind of detailed.
The first two parts look bad. Well, not bad, but like kind of a waste. They're just like new songs or like who gives a shit. It's the third part.
I think it was like songs and skins or something. Yeah.
It's the third part, the episode Aegis or whatever that I think is the thing, right?
Yeah, and I think they knew that because they led with that, and they were like, also here's some other stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I actually thought this like little presentation was very good. I really liked the format of just like a tight 30 minutes with just nothing but trailers, some small stops in between to just kind of recap everything that they showed and what they're coming out on. Yeah, it was good. I would like more of these.
I liked it for sure. Oh, I'm sure we'll get more of these. So
yeah.
The next one's probably going to be their summer event.
Yeah.
So, because that'll be June. I can't imagine they're going to do another one before that.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some questions. If you want to send a question into the show, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. Oh, yeah, we should mention John's not here this week.
Yeah, something came up last minute, so he actually had to cancel a few hours before we went live, unfortunately.
Yeah, so if
Nothing
anyone was wondering
scary.
why John's not talking, it's because he's just not on the podcast this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Read the first one. Okay, so Rasterman writes, who, in your opinion, is the most famous video game related person in the world right now? And what about 5 or 10 years ago?
Famous video game related person.
This is interesting because I've had the conversation, I think, with you guys.
Probably.
Who do you think is more like their name is more well known, Jeff Keighley or Wario 64?
Jeff Keighley.
You think so?
Because he has he does a show thing. Wario 64 is more on the social media. Probably out of those two.
But like even Wario 64, like during the pandemic, was just like tweeting out like COVID test stuff. Like a lot of people. Jeff Keighley has 1.5 million followers on Twitter. Wario 64 has 1.1. That's pretty close.
That's weirdly close. I didn't realize how close that was.
Because I bet there's a ton of people who follow Wario 64 just for game deals, right?
Maybe. I mean, I don't even follow Wario 64, so like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't give a shit
Okay.
about gaming related people, honestly.
Okay.
So in the world right now, like it's probably Keighley, unless we're talking about like in the like actual creation industry. It's probably Kojima if we're talking like devs, right? He's probably.
I'm just thinking, what person's name is known to the highest population of people? Most people in the world recognize this person's name, or have heard this person's name before. Like, do you think normies know Jeff Keighley?
Over Wario 64, absolutely.
But just in general.
In general.
Like, I don't think normies know Jeff Keighley's name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I bet some people will have like heard of maybe the Game Awards, but they probably don't know who runs it.
Sure. Okay.
Do you think the actual answer is just some like influencer, like it's Ninja or something?
Yeah, like that's the thing is that do we discount them because they're not really part of that industry? They're part of like the entertainment industry more so.
I don't know. I think they would be considered the game industry.
Oh,
like,
then absolutely, it's like Ninja, PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, like all of these like big influencers with like multiple millions of people.
And like they're gonna get like such a higher bump from like Gen Z and stuff, right?
That's why I almost just don't want to count them because it seems cheating a little bit.
Well, I mean, do an answer for both ways,
yeah.
then, I guess. Hideo Kojima's a good answer. I just like I'm trying to think like what percentage of people who have played a Metal Gear Solid game don't know Hideo Kojima's name?
I think everybody that's played a Metal Gear Solid game probably knows his name.
Every single one.
Yeah, probably.
There's no way there's no way. Absolutely,
it's probably true. His name is all over that fucking thing.
100%. There's no way. There's no way it's 100%. That's impossible.
No, it's 100%, 100%, easily. What's a bigger the problem I have is that he's well known for like his niche in video games for sure, but like how many people that play any game ever give a shit about Metal Gear or Death Stranding or something? Like how many people even care about that side in the gaming? Like, is it the answer somebody who makes Madden or like does Madden content on YouTube and we don't know?
Actually, there's a question. Do you think it's John Madden?
Do
you think that's the actual answer?
It's probably John Madden. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk is tangentially quite related to the video game industry. So
yeah,
that's not a bad answer, honestly.
Yeah, maybe it's Tony Hawk. I was just gonna say like that. I have a hard time believing everyone who's played Metal Gear knows Hideo Kojima's name because there are people who will watch a movie and they will after the movie they could be like, I don't know the name of any of the actors that are in this.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
And like that person was literally in their face.
The general populace. I'm being facetious. The general populace is fucking stupid as shit. So like, of course.
Yeah.
Is the answer like Chris Pratt for playing Mario? Is the answer like a video game character that has reached mainstream populations and the name behind that character?
Yeah,
I
maybe
hate to
that
think
one.
that.
I'm more inclined to say that one is the entertainment industry because that is
For sure.
like
Okay.
strictly movie. Like he's not voicing the character in the game or
Totally
anything.
fair.
But
Yeah.
that could be the case as well. Like because it's not going to be Miyamoto, right?
Anymore? No, definitely not.
I'm just thinking like because like a good chunk of people who are playing Mario are probably on the younger side, and there's no way they know anything Miyamoto.
Right. It's probably not Miyamoto anymore. In fact, I would say maybe like Phil Spencer is more popular than Miyamoto currently because he's front facing in a lot of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, so like so if we're doing like influencers, I think it's probably Ninja. That's probably my guess.
He
Actually,
was
I don't
on
even I
Ellen.
couldn't even give you the right answer because I don't watch any of these influencers really, so I don't know who's the big one right now.
Sure.
Like what case in point, whenever we do like the Game Award predictions and they're like, you know, influencer of the year, gamer of the year, whatever that category is, I don't know any of these people ever.
Sure.
So it's just such a different section. But if we're doing people that are somehow like tied to the industry, and we're not including like Tony Hawk and John Madden because they're just like their names are on the box. It's
Uh-huh.
so sorry guys, we're not going to include Sid Meier. Um,
Yeah, you could, but yeah.
like I guess I would go Keeley because I just feel like so many people are going like because of the Game Awards. I think I might say Keeley. I would say that
Yeah.
over Miyamoto and Phil Spencer.
The only thing I think about Phil Spencer is how many people would actually watch, like, let's see what's coming out on Xbox and not watch the game. Like, I don't know. At this point, you're just kind of like, who has the, like, 1.1 million to the 1.2 million? Like, I think it's so close that it's hard to even pick, honestly, the true answer.
I just think when it comes to all the live streams,
Yeah.
like you know, it's obvious Xbox's is not going to be the most popular. It's got to be
No.
either Nintendo or Sony's. Nintendo, they don't put people in front of it really, so
Right.
there's no one to really champion. Sony doesn't really do that either.
Right.
Like it's not going to be oh, what's his name? The guy who's like just retiring. Who's the CEO of PlayStation that's just retiring right now? Old guy.
Oh. Um. Oh my God. Why can't I remember his name now?
Someone will say it in the chat. So it's not
Yeah.
going to be him, but like Game Awards, Keeley's in front of that.
Yeah.
And sure, Phil Spencer does show up on the Xbox ones, but
Jim Ryan.
Xbox is in third place. Jim Ryan, yeah, Jim
Yeah.
Ryan. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
But Keeley does show up, and his face is on there, and I think it would probably be Keeley.
Yeah. It probably is Keeley. I agree. What about like 5 to
So
10 years ago?
what I'm trying to say here
Mhm.
is that I've interviewed the most well-known video game person in the world.
Currently, for sure. Probably, yeah. What about like 5, 10 years ago?
10 years ago.
Because this might have been the moment where Nintendo had more representation or a big name with Reggie. Reggie was huge for a little bit there.
So what you're saying is I interviewed the other
The
biggest
other.
name in the world.
Who else? Okay,
I don't
5,
know.
10 years ago. That's only 2019 to 2014 now. God, time sucks.
People are still saying Miyamoto. I don't think it's Miyamoto. Like
It hasn't been
I
Miyamoto since like Galaxy.
I just don't
Probably.
see like my normie ass friends knowing anything about the development of Nintendo games.
Yeah. I agree with you. It definitely was Miyamoto at some point, but I don't think that point has been maybe even in the last 20 years, honestly.
I'm gonna have to do some like research. Next time I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm gonna have to give them like a list of names and be like, who of these people have you heard of?
What about like
Could you pick
Snoop
them out
Dogg?
of a lineup? Well, if we're doing Snoop Dogg, we might as well then I think it's Tony Hawk.
Okay, yeah. If we're going like the influencer route or whatever, basically,
Or
at
just
that point.
the like celebrity that has somehow
Tangentially
touched games
related.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Okay.
obviously Shaun White and 50 Cent.
It's obviously 50 Cent. Yeah.
It's Burt Reynolds from Saints Row 3.
Yeah. Man. I I almost do want to like do a survey of just like choose like the names that you recognize out of this list and see what name pops up the most as an answer. That might do it.
Now I'm starting to think they might actually say Miyamoto because he's just been around for so long.
Like for all time. Yeah, I wouldn't include him in this list.
Like, okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna ask my friends this sometime this week. I'm gonna pick 5 names. I'm gonna pick Miyamoto, Reggie, Phil Spencer, Keeley, and Hideo Kojima. Do you think that's a good 5? Think I'm missing
Yeah.
anyone?
I mean, no, that's probably the big ones.
The answer is going to be somewhere in that 5.
Because, like, I'm wondering, do you go, like, John Carmack, like, people that have been, like, so old?
There's absolutely no way they're going to know who John Carmack is.
Just, like...
Oh, you mean the guy who asked us to send in pictures of our ears when the PlayStation 5 was announced? Oh, yes. I do
like actual
titans
of industry that actually have talent and aren't just, like, front-facing, like, talkative people.
There's no way they're going to know John Carmack.
No, for sure they won't. I'm just trying to think if there's, like, anybody else that is big enough that you could even put in that list. John Romero, no. Like, all these old guard people, I don't think will play.
Steve Jobs, he made the iPhone, the most popular gaming device on the planet.
That's, like, you're not wrong, though, is the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like, maybe, like, Bobby Kotick or whatever. Like, you could do, like, some people that have just been in general news for terrible shit that are part of the gaming industry.
I'm trying to think if his name's been in a lot of game news. I just don't know if, like, anyone was listening to that.
Right, yeah.
Todd Howard did come to mind. I think that's 2 in the weeds, though.
Okay, if Todd Howard's 2 in the weeds, then no, I can't think of anyone else that should be there, because he would probably be the next biggest
Hideo Kojima and Todd Howard are in the same category. Hideo Kojima is definitely above him, though, right?
They're definitely not in the same category, though.
You don't think so, in terms of just, like,
for
the head of a game company?
Oh, okay, sure. I thought you meant, like, popularity-wise.
No. That's what I meant. It's like they're in the same, like, category of where I'm pulling from, but Hideo Kojima is more popular.
And a higher tier or something, sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna do those 5. And
actually, you know what? I'll put out a call to action here. Send in an email with who you think are the top 5. Like, I'm kind of interested what people listening would say. Not even top 5. Just give your one that you think is
those 5, or just in general.
Just in general, like, who do you think is the most popular?
It's going to be a skewed result because you're talking to, like,
you can't choose Miyamoto.
Like the most game people. So,
but you can't choose Miyamoto because we're also talking to, like, the most Nintendo crowd I've ever fucking seen on the internet.
You can't put a restriction on.
No, there's a restriction. Fuck Miyamoto. Like, we get it. He's huge. He's huge. We get it. Choose somebody else.
Well, so so is that you saying Miyamoto's the answer?
Honestly, yeah, maybe, like, for all time, but not for currently, I don't think, or even the last 5-10 years.
Okay.
All time for sure. I guess if you count now as all time, then yeah, he is the answer.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna ask my friends this week.
That's such a boring answer, though. VGC Kenny writes, I saw an ad for Asgard's Wrath 2 that showed off reviews saying 10 out of 10, perfect game. Despite that, I know I'm never going to play it, not due to a lack of interest, lack of money, or lack of access to the technology, but because it's a VR game, and I'm not touching VR because I'm almost positive that it will, to use a technical term, fuck me up. My question then is, will VR stop after a while because there's a significant portion of people who just can't use it? I'll read the whole question here and then we'll go back. Also, if you're not getting the attention you deserve for a game you made because it's in VR, do you just stop or hope that I can overcome my inherent motion sickness and other sensory issues I have, and several others will, to experience it, or just make a non-VR version? So this is kind of why VR isn't going as fast or crazy as it would be normally, is because the market isn't as widespread because of these reasons, right? There are people that don't want to buy in and get a giant headset for a few $100s. There's people that do have, like, the sensory issues, and because of that, the market is not as big, so people don't want to spend money into developing something that is for a niche product, essentially. It's a self-fulfilling problem.
Primarily that first answer you gave. having to buy into it.
Yeah.
Because right now it's like whether you buy this like a standalone like Quest headset for $200-$300, or if you have the PS5 you get the PSVR 2. It's like an additional expense,
Yep.
and you're looking at, okay, what is this going to get me access to that I don't already have access to? And you're looking at the library of VR games, and nothing is like really jumping out.
Yeah.
They do mention as Asgard's Wrath to 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Speaking personally, I'm watching these VR trailers all the time. I feel like they just kind of look like bad games.
They all look the same is kind of the problem. There's very few like really interesting looking killer apps, and there's not going to be a lot of those because people won't make money on them making
Like
them.
the graphical fidelity is lower because they
Mm.
have to create these like three-dimensional worlds for you to be able to like move in entirely.
Yep.
That they can't be as narratively focused. They can't frame it such because you can move your head whenever. You can stick your head through a rock.
Yep.
So I just feel like they don't look as good. And then so the trailers, they don't do much for me, or they're like a Beat Saber clone, and they're just like, it's like Beat Saber, but this time you have a gun or whatever. It's just kind of like those two. It's like, is it a rail shooter or what is it kind of? That's why Half-Life Alex is like the one thing that's kind of interesting me, because it
Yeah.
does kind of look like it has a higher tier of fidelity, but even then, I just don't have access to the correct headset, because I'm not going to spend $300 for Half-Life Alex. I think a lot of people are really saying that, is even if you want to play Asgard's Wrath 2, it's like, okay, there's that. Then I guess I'll buy Beat Saber again
Yeah.
or something like it's. So I think it's a big investment for a weak library. They do keep putting out games because developers, less so now, but over the years, they're like, for example, PSVR 2, and Meta are trying to incentivize developers. Hey,
Yeah.
we need games on these platforms. We will front some of the money for you guys, so there's less of a risk for you. No one's going to make the game if they're like, we're only going to sell 50,000 units. We're not going to break even. But
Yeah.
much like Game Pass, hey, if you come on our platform, you're going to be in profit no matter what, because we're paying all your upfront costs, yada yada, whatever the deal is. So there was money going into VR. That seems like it's less so, because I'm just hearing about less and less developers making VR titles. Like, you look at the Sony like state of play live streams, and they're barely talking about games coming out.
Yeah.
Like, they just closed down their London studio, which was working on VR titles. Like, Sony's trying to make PSVR 2 work on the PC because people are not buying it because there's no games locked to that console. So I think there's a major issue there. Will it go away forever? I doubt it. I have a hard time believing that like wearable like AR or VR glasses, that will probably be the future. Like, it just
Yeah.
seems to like make sense. Like, eventually we're gonna wear glasses that we can access our email on. The form factor will just get better, right? Um, I don't know. I don't think there's a killer app right now, and that's kind of why I haven't pulled the trigger.
Yeah. Like VR isn't going to stop because people like Kenny and me get sick. It'll stop eventually if it does at all, because there's no more money in it and people don't want to keep pumping money into it. But like, even then, like VR, I really think VR will probably continue, even if it's as a niche product. Maybe the games like start drying up because people don't want to spend money into it at worst, or
I think
whatever.
we're gonna get to like a lull,
Yeah.
but I think that there will eventually, the tech will continue progressing, and I think
Yeah.
for your guys' benefit, they'll find a way so that you guys aren't getting like motion sick or whatever,
Yeah.
because they'll make it more comfortable. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. It'll open it up to more people, and then eventually, it's going to be like kind of like my display glasses. I can hook that up into a console. What if the games were just on my display glasses?
Yeah.
It might as well be VR at that point. Like,
Yeah.
so that's just kind of where, like, I have a hard time believing that's not what's going to happen.
Also, you
'Cause
can
it's
train your
like,
brain to not get as sick. Like, I just don't want to go through the process of being sick repeatedly for like weeks
sure,
until
yeah,
that happens. But like, it's not that you can't play VR. It's that you don't want to spend the time and like effort to get to the point for such little like, if we had VR, if we were kids and we had VR headsets and VR was like the best way to game, we would grow up getting used to it and it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Like we would have just
Yeah, I
got
mean, it's
used to
like
it.
how kids are like super good with touchscreens and they're playing Fortnite touchscreen style and they're like doing it totally fine. Whereas I'm using touch controls and I'm like, this is miserable. Please give me a controller.
Or even like how I could play a lot of like first person shooters when I was growing up, and like my dad, who played video games every now and then when I was younger, like first person shooters made him motion sick and he just couldn't do it because he just
Okay.
didn't grow up used to like that type of movement.
Right.
So,
Right.
but no, the video game industry isn't going to stop because it's a niche product. It might stop because people want to stop putting money into it, but I don't think that's going to happen either, frankly.
I think what's like from the game side, I think we'll get like a lull,
Yeah,
but there's going to be
I
enough
agree.
like business side where it's like, well, we're putting cameras in your VR glasses and it like and from like a consumer tech side that eventually it'll reach like such a prevalence, like so many people will have it because our phones are now in our glasses or whatever, that it's like much like games on the phone, it would be irresponsible not to put your game on the iPhone glasses because it's the most popular platform, computing platform in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if a game's good enough, they should just make a non VR version if they can. Like, there's a mod to play Alex non VR,
Yeah.
and that's awesome. Like that should just be a thing if people want to put money into it or if they think their game's good enough.
If they're allowed, I wouldn't be surprised if these contracts are like, you're not allowed to make it a flat screen game because we are trying to get exclusives for our platform.
Yeah, like that is the benefit of Valve doing Alex, is they can do whatever the hell they want or allow whatever
Right.
they want, and they're usually pretty happy with like mods and stuff, so they're all for that sort of thing. But yes,
They have Steam,
anything
so
like
they're a
on the
little more
meta
flexible.
on meta is going to be locked
Yeah.
into like their thing, and yeah, they probably
like
legally
Weston.
can't. Yeah.
Lineback asks, have you ever gone to ask someone something but immediately forgotten what it was, only to remember at like past midnight while in bed years later?
No, not
This is very
years later.
specific. Yeah, I don't have a probably. I can't think of something off the top of my head. No.
No. I definitely have forgotten, like, went to go ask somebody something, forgot, remembered, and then, like, threw them a text or just, like, kind of reminded myself to ask them the next day or something. But years later, no.
Yeah.
No, there's no way.
I don't think years later.
Dad writes, have you ever had a game that annoyed you to no ends, but you kept coming back due to an annoying itch? Mario 64.
Yeah, what was the annoying itch?
I don't know. Like, I fucking hated that game for a long time, and then I got this weird itch to play it, and then I got this weird itch to, like, learn it, to be better and better at it or try it more. And I don't know why. Because I kind of don't like that game in a lot of ways.
The one that comes to mind for me is AI, the Somnium Files.
Oh.
It's a bad game. It plays really bad. It does not respect your time. You should just play it with a guide so that because the game will just give you game overs and make you repeat stuff just for padding or something. I don't know. But I kept coming back to it because it's like, hey, it's the 999 devs made another one.
Right.
And I kind of just gotta know like what's going on with these guys. They do some cool story stuff. And yeah, but you play it with a guide. So the annoying itch is like I respect the dev, but man, they made a stinker.
Maybe like retail World of Warcraft, just because like that annoying itch is I need to play an MMO something or other, and like I gotta go.
Okay,
A new expansion came out, so I guess I gotta go back to that grind for a week or two.
that one,
Yeah.
right?
Where are?
Phantom Aegis, is it you or me?
I think it's you.
Okay. Ahoy TTB crew, in your own interpretation, what's the difference between a free-to-play game and a freemium game?
Free to play gets you in the door and then kind of expects you to pay either with a lot of time or hopefully they try to coerce you into paying more money to get like in-game stuff. freemium would be maybe enhancing your experience with like being, you could put money into it for like, I guess like Path of Exile, say you can buy an upgrade to like your bank, your storage, and like some other stuff, and you don't have to do it, but it's like really nice when you do, as opposed to free to play, you have to buy like tokens so that, or energy so that you can keep building your farm or something. That's probably how I have it in my mind.
I don't think I really use the term freemium.
I don't either, really.
Because like looking at these two, if I was trying to come up with a description, free to play almost seems like it would be more manipulative, and freemium, because it's a portmanteau of premium,
Yeah.
to me makes it sound like this would be like a better game that is free. But when I'm thinking
Yeah.
of some great free to play games, like Apex Legends is free. I think that game is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say it's a freemium game. I would just say it's a free to play, battle royale.
Well,
Because
because
I
your
just don't think I
experience
use the
doesn't
word
change if you
freemium.
pay, I think is the thing, right? It's just,
Well, I mean, like
yeah.
you can buy the battle pass, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like I think I just don't use the term freemium. Like I just don't call games freemium
Yeah, I
games.
don't either.
Another thing that kind of came to my mind is when Nintendo did free to start,
Mm-hmm.
like with Mario Run, where you could get like the first 2 worlds or whatever free, and then you had to pay $10 to get the rest.
Kind of like a
Like, is that?
trial or something.
It's kind of like a trial, yeah.
Yeah.
But the terminology they were using was called free to start, and is like, is that a freemium game? I don't know. I just don't use the term freemium, but
Yeah.
I get like if I guess I would just say like, is the game good, or does it have like timers?
Yeah. Right.
Like if that, yeah, do you have to pay so that you can continue playing the game? So maybe if by this definition Apex is a freemium game, Fortnite is a freemium game, and then free to play games are just they don't respect the actual gamer. They're just trying to get some money out of you.
So they actually have a explanation apparently here. I'm just reading.
Yeah, they
Um.
wrote,
mm,
here's the explanation I was given about the two. Take a look after you make your case. Free to play games that are free to play are games that are given payment and or recognition by the amount of eyeballs seen,
Okay.
whereas freemium is a game downloaded for free but heavily incentivized you to spend on in-app purchases.
Okay. So my version of free to play is what they're calling freemium here, and free to play is, hey, that's cool. Like if that you love Fortnite. Now we're so big that we don't need you to buy stuff because we are the most popular game ever. Sure. Fair enough, I guess. Suku writes, what kind of games do you play when you're sick? I don't. I don't play games at all. I just sit and veg until I feel better.
I don't Yeah, like if I'm really sick, I'm probably not playing much games.
Yeah.
If I have like a cold, I don't know what the same games I was still playing. I don't think it really changes.
Yeah, no, like I'm not counting like, oh, my like tummy is a little sore or something. I'm talking about like I have a fever and stuff. I'm just dead to the world. I'm not doing
Yeah.
anything.
I guess, the spirit of the question is it's kind of asking what your like comfort game is,
Oh,
right? Like so
P-Cross,
in
I
that
guess.
case it's yeah, I was going to be like it's something I can just kind of turn my head off and go through the motions. So right now it's like Overwatch 2.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Legend of Chrono writes, "Do you think you had more fun gaming as a kid compared to now?"
Yeah, absolutely. I sometimes feel like it's a chore now because I have like other stuff,
Oh,
like responsibilities I have. Like, I really like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, but sometimes I feel like doing this mini game is wasting my time when I have a job I have to go to tomorrow or I have to like clean the house. Whereas a kid,
okay.
it didn't matter. Something could be complete dog shit, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I have nothing to do for the rest of this month because it's summer. So yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I think it's better for me now because I'm playing so much more. I have access to so many more games
Mm,
just because I
sure.
like, I have disposable income and stuff like that. Um, but like it's almost like a different, like
Yeah.
the fun is different because like as a kid, smaller things. You're doing like, we're having a sleepover and we're just gonna play Super Smash Bros. Melee until 4 a.m, and you
Yeah.
do that for like 8 hours straight, and it's like there's no way I would do that right now. I'm not having a buddy come over for a sleepover.
Yeah.
So it's like a different fun. Whereas now it's like, I think the games are better. And I have access to more of them. Also, me personally, I get to do some of it as like a job, and that's like the dream for me. So that's nice too. So there's like different. It's a different perspective.
I miss the like when you're a kid gaming with your buddies or whatever and hanging out like at their house and doing the local like that doesn't happen for me ever anymore, which makes sense.
I mean,
like,
it could. You could make it happen. Like,
not really. I don't really have the time to like meet up with people and like do an all night gaming session.
well, maybe not all night, but it's like,
Yeah.
I think of like when I make the effort to have like a board game night.
Oh,
It's
sure.
like they're definitely rarer than just playing games online, but it's like,
Yeah.
there is something about like, hey guys, let's get together specifically to do this like in person thing.
Sure. Yeah. Final question is from Hebrew Lantern. What membership is 100% worth every penny you pay for it? I don't have one. None of the memberships I pay for is worth 100%.
Not even like Game Pass, you don't think?
God, no. I didn't play a single game on Game Pass last month.
Okay. I have a bunch that I think are totally worth it. I think Game Pass is extremely worth it for me. My gym membership.
For you, I think
I go
it's
to
the
the gym.
movie thing because you're
I was
always
about
like,
to- I
I'm
was about to
wasting
add the-
money if I'm not watching a movie.
The movie one is also 100% worth the membership.
Yeah.
Rent.
Yeah, like so if we're going that route, my internet, like
Internet is super worth it. 100% worth it.
yeah.
But on the fun side, like, yeah, Game Pass. I think, yeah, gym, the movie membership I have. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
My
That might be my only
Patreon
membership.
subscription to the Top Down Perspective podcast at patreon.com/TD.
Absolutely 100% worth it. You get ad-free episodes. If you got the $5 tier, you get a free logos, not a free logo sticker, but you get access to a logo sticker and your name scrolling across every VOD. Who wouldn't want that?
Crazy people. Are you crazy, listener?
You get 5 years worth of archived TDP Plus episodes. That's ridiculous. That's over 60 episodes.
That is crazy. Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for questions. If you want to send in questions for next week, popdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What's your game of the week?
Probably Rebirth, I would say.
Mine is also Rebirth for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for listening. John should be back next week. See you guys then.
Bye.